sunrise?
Yep. Yes.
Wasn't it pretty? But now it's raining, right? So we're not going to be able to go outside to have our scavenger hunt like I wanted to. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a hunt in here. I brought this big Easter basket right here. See the big Easter basket? Okay, and it is full of all sorts of things that have to do with Easter. And you guys are going to tell me what each thing means, okay? What we want to do is each one of you gets to pick out of the basket, and then you get to tell me what the item in the basket has to do with the Easter story, okay?
All right.
So let's see. You can go first. Pick something out. A bunny?
The Easter bunny.
What does a bunny have to do with the Easter story?
The Easter bunny.
The Easter bunny? Does that have anything to do with the Easter story in the Bible? Is there any verses about bunnies and Easter in the Bible?
Miss Julie?
What?
The Easter bunny isn't about the Bible.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, let's review a little bit. Remember, we were talking about Jesus's life, right? How he was born and how he lived here on earth.
And how he died.
Grew up, yep, and how he died. And the last thing we learned was the Last Supper, remember? When they were having the Passover meal and he was telling his disciples how he was going to be captured and killed and die on the cross and how he was going to return, but they didn't understand it, did they? Did they understand how he was going to be? They thought he told them somebody was going to betray him, right? One of his disciples was going to betray him, but you know what that means?
What?
Well, it means they were going to go behind his back and do something to him. They would pretend he was his friend. He even kissed him, the disciple.
Ew, gross.
Well, it's okay. He was just kissing him because he loved him. He even kissed him, and then he betrayed him. His name was Judas.
Oh,
And then he told the Roman soldiers where Jesus was, didn't he? So that's part of the Bible Easter story. I don't think there's a bunny. So this is a nice bunny. So we'll just leave him out here, okay? But he's not part of the Bible Easter story. Okay, you can pick now. Go ahead. See what's in there. Close your eyes and pick something out.
Can I move it closer?
Sure. It's okay. Pick something out. Be careful. You never know what might be in there. Hurry up, pick it out.
Ow!
Uh-oh. What happened? Pick it out.
Ow!
Oh.
Oh, what the?
What's that?
Are you okay? Thorn bush.
A thorn bush?
Oh! Why would you put that in there?
Well, does that have anything to do with the Easter story?
Oh, no! Yeah, I do.
What?
Well, the people that don't believe in God.
Listen.
The people that don't believe in God put a crown of thorns in Jesus' head.
You're right. The people that didn't believe that Jesus was actually...
So that is what this thing is about.
You're right.
I felt something on my arms.
Okay, that is real thorns, isn't it? And you're right. That is what they said. John 19 verse 2 says this. And the soldiers planted...
Don't play with this.
Yeah, be careful.
Ouch!
Oops. And the soldiers plaited a crown of thorns and put it on his head.
Jesus' head would have been bleeding like crazy and he would be like...
Oh, boy, yeah. Plaited means they braided it together. So they would have had more than one of those. What?
Actually, the first thing they did is that they hit him with a whip, then put a crown of thorns on his head.
Oh, okay. Well, this is about the crown of thorns. Let's see what else we can find. So they put a crown of thorns on his head to mock him or make fun of him. Okay, what's next? You can go. Pick one. Close your eyes.
They are closed. I got something. A stick?
What's that?
It's wet and dirty and muddy.
Oh.
Miss Julie, you don't know what a stick is?
I do, but what would a big stick like that represent?
They're hitting him with a stick? Or
Well, yeah, people did hit him with sticks, but what else? What?
If you put these like that and right here like that, it kind of looks like it could look like a cross. Or a cross.
A cross, you're right. Did Jesus carry his own cross?
No. Actually,
Yes, He did. Let's see what it says here about the cross. So this stick can represent, because we couldn't put a whole cross in there. So this stick can represent a big tree that Jesus carried, and that was his cross. It says this in John chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him and 2 other people with him on either side, and Jesus was in the middle.
A Hebrew Ugaka?
No, it says in Hebrew it's called Golgotha. That was the place.
Oh, I thought it said Gugaka.
It says, and they crucified him. So he carried this cross, okay, and he bearing his cross, it means Jesus carried it himself.
The cross doesn't look like mine.
No, it doesn't, but I didn't have
There's
something
a
that
little
looked quite like
Jesus on
that.
it.
If we were outside, we maybe could have found something better, but that was about what I could find. So Jesus carried his own cross there all by himself, and they put him on the cross, and they crucified him. And it says there was 2 other people there, one on either side. You go next. Let's see what's next.
Close your eyes.
Oh!
What's
An
that?
axe!
I think it's supposed to be a hammer.
I don't know what.
What would that be?
They
Used for?
probably hit him with a hammer in the head to knock him out.
Wait, no. They did put him on a cross somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe
put nails. Oh yeah.
Yeah. What did they do?
They probably put nails in his hands and his feet, and
Yeah. But we know that the hammer, right, would have been used to put the nails in Jesus' hands and feet.
To me, it looks like an axe.
yeah,
You're
it's
right.
an axe.
You're
Is
right.
it sharp? No.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Who's next? Are you next?
Yeah.
Keep going.
Can I move it closer again?
Mm-hmm. Pick something out.
Something like hard. There's something like an egg.
An egg?
Egg, huh?
Hey, there's some breakfast.
Is there an egg in the Bible story about Easter?
Wait, hold
God
on.
made
Wait,
eggs.
Miss Julie.
God
let's
did
see
make
if,
eggs.
I'm gonna see if there's a chicken. Nope.
No chicken. Is there an egg in there?
Wait, hold on a second. It smells warm. And it's like
There would
it's a
be.
hard
There
boiled
would
egg.
be. There would be. There would be eggs on Earth at that time, but is there an egg in the
No.
story?
No.
No.
I think the Easter Bunny got us that.
We'll put the egg over with the bunny.
Guess what?
Okay, it's your turn. Go ahead.
It was a hard boiled.
So
egg.
no eggs, no bunnies. Let's see
Wait.
what's next.
Miss Julie, it was hard boiled. So
What's
it smells
this?
like-
It has not. It has. What's?
What's that?
It looks like some sort of red scarf, but it's so soft.
Oh, let's see what that has to do with. What do you guys think that has to do?
Maybe
Wait.
they used.
Wait. Stop yelling.
Let her say.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Maybe they used that to wrap Jesus up in a ball to bury him in that cave.
No,
Stop.
I don't
Can
think
you
so.
Stop yelling.
What do you think it's for?
Like to make fun of him, they dressed him up in purple. Maybe that has to do.
You're right. They did dress him up in purple to make fun of him, didn't they? Matthew 27, verse 28 says this. It says, and then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the common hall and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. So they took him and they took him in front of everybody. It says, and they stripped him. That means they took all his clothes off him.
They stripped him with like a knife.
No, they took all his clothes off and then they put on him a scarlet robe. And just after that, so they put this on him, and you're right, to make fun of him, to make him look like a king. And then it says, and then they put the crown of thorns on his head. So they did that in that order.
Then if they, I think that after they put the robe on and the crown of thorns, they would say, "All hail the king."
Yeah, they thought, they weren't believing him, did they? Okay, who's
then-
next?
But it's a good thing his disciples believed in him.
Yeah.
Always believed in him.
Who's next?
Me.
Okay, do the next one.
What the heck is this?
What the?
Oh, I know, that's vinegar.
From what?
Well, anybody know when the vinegar was in the story?
No.
Wait,
That's
what's
some
vinegar?
Vinegar is a smelly type of
Oil.
Yeah,
oil.
it's a
Smell.
Oh my
Nice one.
gosh!
See?
Oh,
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 it
it
smells
smells-
like.
smells like old garlic and a gin
It
sauce.
Oh,
It
that's
kinda smells-
vinegar. John 19, 28 and 29. Now, this was after Jesus was already on the cross, okay? And it says, after this, Jesus, knowing that all things were now accomplished and that the scripture might be fulfilled, said, I'm thirsty. Now, there was a vessel.
Did he talk like this?
He might have. It said there was a vessel next to him, so there was a little jar next to him. And they filled a sponge with vinegar and put it on a stick so they could reach up to the cross, and they put it on his lips.
Ew. Oh, he must have smelled that.
Oh, yeah, yuck, huh? Okay, so that's the vinegar, okay? So that goes after the
Does
scarlet
it
robe,
taste bad?
after the cross. Let's put this in order, okay? After the crown of thorns,
careful.
let's see. Okay, what's next?
My
Who's-
turn.
Oh, no.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait, there.
Oh, the hammer, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Thor's hammer.
This game is pretty fun.
I know.
It's like
Yeah,
something cold and like hard.
we'll pick it up.
Oh my gosh, it's so heavy.
A
Oh,
rock.
that's a big stone,
It's
right?
colorful. I like the
Oh, I
colors.
painted it.
This one is colorful, yeah.
I painted it.
What would this represent? A big stone. Never mind the fact that it's colored, but what would the big stone represent?
The cave, the cave, the cave.
The cave?
Yeah, after they buried Jesus, they shut a big stone to keep the cave shut.
You're right. It says they roll.
No. They used a big stone to cover the cave. Wait,
Right.
they used a big stone to close the cave so
Right.
no one can get in.
Here it talks about the stone, okay? In Matthew 27, verse 62 through 66, it says, now the next day that followed, that meant the day after Jesus died, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate, saying, Sir, we remember that the deceiver, they were calling Jesus a deceiver, that the deceiver said, while he was still alive, after 3 days I will rise again. Command, therefore, that the sepulchre be made sure until the third day. So they wanted to make sure that Jesus wasn't going to get back out. It says, lest his disciples come by at night and steal him away and say to the people, he is risen from the dead. So the last error should be worse than the first. And Pilate said to them, ye have a watch, go your way, make it as sure as you can. So he said, seal the tomb as best as you can. So they went and they made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch. So they took a big stone like this, and they rolled it over the hole, and then they set people there that were going to watch it and make sure nobody
Wait,
comes.
say that the bunny is the people.
Yeah, and make sure nobody would come and steal the body of Jesus, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Why would somebody steal a body?
Well,
That's
because Jesus had
disgusting.
said that he was going to rise again. And they were afraid that maybe, even though they didn't believe him, they thought maybe he is telling the truth. And they didn't want that to happen. Okay, who's next? Your turn? Okay, go ahead.
Remove this thorn so it doesn't poke my shirt.
Okay.
I want to
Wait,
thorn go
who's-
up my thumb.
Ooh, you don't want a thorn in your thumb.
It feels.
What the heck?
What's that?
What is? It's white.
Oh, anybody can think of what would happen with that?
Second.
What?
It looks like Jesus' robe.
At that time, at Bible times,
Right.
when someone died and then they put him in a tomb,
Mm-hmm.
they say that this bunny is Jesus.
Right.
They wrapped him up
You're right.
and then they just buried him. That's
You're
gross.
right. They wrapped him up in cloths, didn't they? In burial cloths,
The
right?
thing that I grabbed is
So-
a cloth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they wrapped him all up, right?
Yeah, they
If
wrapped
somebody
him
was
up.
dead,
Like Lazarus.
like Lazarus, you're
Oh,
right. They
yeah,
wrapped him up.
Lazarus. Who's
You're
Lazarus?
right. And then they laid him in the tomb like that. John 20, verse 7. Now, this was after he had already risen from the dead. This talks about the cloth, okay? And it says, then cometh Simon Peter and went into the sepulchre,
Don't mess with
and
that.
he saw the linen cloth, it says, and the napkin that was about his head, lying with the linen clothes, but wrapped together in a place by itself. So Jesus had gotten up, and he had folded the cloth back together and set it back down, and walked away. Isn't that amazing?
How? There was a stone.
And how did he open the door?
Well,
Did he walk right through it?
we'll find out. Okay, who's next?
Me?
I think it's him, right?
Yeah.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm the one who went last.
Go ahead.
Wait, what in the
Oh,
wait, what the heck is
that's spices.
Spices?
Do you know what spices were used for?
that? Hamburgers?
No.
Don't
No.
mess with that, okay?
No. You want to smell these?
Don't mess with that. You know what?
Don't take a real big whiff, but smell them. You want to smell them?
Ooh, wow.
That's
Sounds awful.
I'm never going to smell that again.
spices. Spices for our Easter story, or is it for Easter breakfast?
What? I would say for Easter breakfast.
In John chapter 19, verse 38, it says, "And after Joseph of Arimathea, being a disciple of Jesus, but secretly for fear of the Jews, besought Pilate that he might take away the body. And Pilate gave him leave, and he came therefore and took the body of Jesus." So Joseph of Arimathea was going to bury the body of Jesus. "And there came also Nicodemus, which at the first came to Jesus by night, and brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes, with about 100-pound weight. Then took they the body of Jesus and wound it in linen clothes." So there's our linen clothes, okay? "And with spices in the manner of the Jews." So that's what they did. They put spices on the body and they put it on the cloth and they wrapped them all up. So
Why?
so that it would smell better, because a dead body doesn't smell very good.
But that doesn't smell good either.
Well, this smells better than a dead body for sure, okay? And it says there was 100 pounds of it. So there was 100 pounds of good smelly stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So
not
that would be
good
pretty
smelling.
good, okay? So that spices were actually in the Easter story, not for Easter breakfast.
Ew.
Okay, who's next?
My turn.
Okay, go ahead. I think we're almost done.
I can't believe we found a Thor's hammer.
I know. Grab something, hurry up.
I'm trying to.
What did you get? A chicken magazine? Does this have to do with eggs?
Wait.
Hold on, I'm gonna ask the chicken. Chicken, did you lay this egg? Wait, look.
Oh, I know what this has to do. Let's see. There's a picture in here that I wanted to show you guys. And you tell me if you know what it is.
Is it Jesus?
No,
Is it a chicken?
it's not Jesus. What?
What is it?
I'll show you.
Is it a chicken?
Oh, we'll find out. What do you think's in this?
Ah,
What is this the
chickens.
chicken of? Right there.
Let
Okay.
me see.
You see that picture right there?
That's
What is that?
that's a coop. It's a rooster.
It's a rooster, right?
Oh, I thought you meant like
Can
the
you guys all make, I want you each to make a rooster sound. You make a rooster sound.
Sounds more like
You make a
bull.
rooster
No, that
sound.
sounds like Peter Pan.
You make one. You make one. When you guys were up real early this morning listening for or watching the sunrise, did you happen to hear the roosters? I heard the roosters here at 4 o'clock this morning.
Well, my roosters, Sam and Dangle, they do it like in the middle of the night, like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, they
and
start.
then our mom says, "You dumb rooster."
Yeah,
Why
they
is it
start.
sticky?
But wait a minute, is there a rooster in the Easter story?
No.
I think
But
there
that
might
does
be.
really-
Matthew 26, verse 34, it says. There's going to be a rooster. Huh. Matthew 26, 34. Now remember, what was that?
Oh no! Flying rocks.
Matthew 26, 34. Now remember what was happening in our story last week, how Jesus was giving everybody supper and how he was telling them that people were going to betray him and things. And what were his disciples saying to him? Do you remember?
I couldn't find it.
It's okay. What were they saying? They were telling him they loved him, right?
Yeah.
And they were saying, we don't want you to die, Jesus. But Jesus was telling them he was going to come back, but they didn't understand it, did they?
No.
No. And in Matthew 26, verse 34, it says this. Jesus said unto him, Verily I say unto thee, that this night before the rooster crows, you shall deny me 3 times.
What does that mean?
Deny me means that Peter was going to tell other people that he never knew Jesus, even though just the night before he was willing to fight to keep Jesus alive. But then the next day, he already was trying to deny him. Now I want each one of you to crow again. Let's see how long it takes for a rooster to crow 3 times. Crow. Not very long, did it? So the very next morning, Peter already was denying that he knew Jesus. Can you believe that? He was already afraid that people thought he was part of Jesus' disciples and they might kill him. That was scary, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who's next? Go ahead. See what else is left in there.
There's only one thing left.
I think there's more than one. I think there's a couple.
Hey, Miss Julie.
What?
What is this? What? I dropped it.
What is it?
It's a nail.
Oh, that's a nail. Yep, that's a nail.
Ooh, that's
Oh, wait. It's rusty.
And what do the nails have to do with this story?
They nailed him to the cross. They nailed his hand, and then they went bam, bam, bam.
You're right.
I could have missed it.
Yeah, it
That's
would have hurt.
huge. They put the nails. They put 2 nails in each hand.
Yeah, they
And
did.
they put 2 nails in each foot.
Yeah, you're right.
And they nailed him to the cross.
That's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah, that's awful. That's what it means when they said he was crucified. Matthew 20, verse 19 says, Behold, we go to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man shall be betrayed. Judas betrayed him, remember? Under the chief priests and under the scribes, and they shall condemn him to death.
Who's Jude?
Judas. And they shall deliver him unto the Gentiles to mock. That means made fun of him, right? And to scourge. That means to use a whip. We didn't have a whip in there. And to crucify him. And on the 3rd day he shall rise again.
Wait, what's
Okay.
that pink thing in there?
Well, go ahead. Who's next?
My. Oops.
Are you next?
No, it's done.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Who's next?
Me, him.
Okay.
Oh!
Bless you.
Oh! Wow.
Are you alright?
Must be the spices.
No. I'm a little bit sick.
Oh dear. Okay.
King of the Jews.
King of the Jews. Anyone know what that might mean?
No.
They actually put a sign on the cross that said, they had the cross like this, and Jesus was hanging on it, and they put a sign on the cross that said, King of the Jews, to make fun of him again, because they figured if he could get down, he wasn't really a king. They thought he would just come down off the cross, but you know what? Jesus had to die on the cross. Do you know why?
Why?
Because
To
he
save
had
us.
to be the sacrifice for our sins. He died on the cross to save us from our sins.
Wait.
So he had to stay up there, even though he had all the power in the whole world. He could have come down, but he didn't. Who's next? I think there's a couple more in there. Okay, go ahead. Let's see. Here, I'll tip the basket.
Let's see.
Pick something out.
Something fell.
Pick something out. What's
Another
that?
rock?
Just a rock.
What's this rock? Anybody know?
It looks
That
like a gravestone.
Yeah, this rock actually is a rock inside the tomb. There would have been a flat rock like this that they would have laid Jesus on. They would have laid Jesus on the flat rock, and that's where his body would have been laid. And then when he got up, he would have got up off the flat rock, and he would have laid this fabric, remember, back on top of it,
Yeah, but at the
and he would have
3rd
walked
day,
away.
pretend this is Jesus.
Yep.
At the 3rd day, he would rise.
Yep, you're right. So
And
he
he
got
would
up
have
off
bunny
this
ears.
flat rock, okay? One more thing, I think.
No, it's not.
I think so.
No, there's not.
I think there is one more little thing.
A sword? A Lego sword?
It's a katana.
Sword.
Wait, that's a katana.
Oh, what would the sword have been for?
They must have put it through his stomach like this.
You're right.
Oh, wait,
They
no,
did.
no,
Ew.
Peter,
Yep.
when the soldiers came,
Okay.
Peter was like, "You will not take Jesus," and then he cut off his ear.
Oh, you're right. Peter was willing to fight for Jesus the night
But
before.
pretend that this is his ear. Jesus put his ear back on.
Like this.
You're right, he did. Because Peter was willing to fight for Jesus the night before, but as soon as the rooster crowed, he already was denying him.
But I'm pretty
Does
sure
that ever
that
happen
Peter
in-
was sinning.
Yeah. Does
No.
that ever happen in your life? Where 1 minute you're all about believing in Jesus and doing the right thing, and the very next minute
Yeah.
you're doing the wrong thing? That happens, doesn't it? Because we're human. So let's see if we can put this story in order, okay? So what happened first in our story?
Jesus was sleeping with the disciples, and then guards came over and took Jesus away.
You're right. Yeah, the
He
guards.
wasn't sleeping.
Well, he
was
wasn't.
awake.
Jesus was praying.
Yeah,
Okay.
he told, and then
Jesus
he
was
was crying.
praying.
He was crying out blood. Ew.
Yep.
No.
Jesus was praying, and he was praying, and then what? Well, first he was eating dinner, like we were talking about in last week, right? And then Judas betrayed him, right, with a kiss. Remember?
Ew.
Ew.
That's weird.
Judas betrayed him with a kiss, and then Judas told the guards and the soldiers where Jesus was. Jesus was in the garden praying, and they went to the garden, and they captured Jesus, and they took him to the Pilate, right? The person in charge. And then what did they do at that point? Do you remember?
Ugh.
They stripped him, right? They put a red garment on him, or a purple garment. They put a crown of thorns on his head, right? They took him to the cross, and he had to carry his cross all the way up the hill.
Was it heavy?
They put a sign on it that said King of the Jews because they were making fun of him.
Oh, and also, he was on the cross.
Yeah. And they took this garment off of him, and they hung him on the cross, and then they all wanted the garment because it had been on him.
Ew.
And then they nailed him to the cross with the, whoops, where's our nail?
I thought I put it right there.
Oh, here's the nail. They took the nail and they nailed him to the cross, which is horrible, right? And then he was thirsty, and they gave him some vinegar to drink, which was also horrible. And then he
gross.
still hadn't died yet. He was still alive. So they took a sword and they pierced his side. They went right through him. They didn't break any of his bones, just like all the prophecies said. They took a sword and they pierced his side, and he died. They took him down off the cross. They prepared his body with spices and a burial cloth.
Didn't he shed his blood so like
He did
he
shed his,
had
yeah,
a different
he did. He shed his blood for our sin. So they put him on a burial cloth with the spices on a flat stone inside a tomb. And then they took a round stone and they sealed the tomb so that nobody could get in. They had
was
somebody
he laying
guarding
on
it.
it or was he wrapped in
He was wrapped up in the cloth like this, okay? And then this was outside the tomb. There was guards standing there.
There were guards
And then
with
they
swords.
waited.
There were guards with swords.
And then the very next morning, okay, Jesus was still in the tomb. And then what happened what happened after that?
He read him
The rooster crowed, right?
Mhm.
Peter denied him. People were starting to be scared. And then people went back to his tomb and they saw the stone had been rolled away. And there was an angel inside sitting on where'd the stone go? There was an angel inside sitting here on this stone, and these cloths were here. And Mary Magdalene said, "Where is Jesus? Where have you taken my friend Jesus?"
I thought it was his son.
No. And the angel said, "Don't worry, he has risen. Go see him." And she went running back to Peter and she said, "Peter, Peter, Peter, he's not there. He's gone." And they went looking for him, and pretty soon they saw him alive. Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Miss
He
Julie.
actually did rise from the dead, just like he said.
Wait, Miss
What?
Julie, look. The third day, he rose from the dead.
Yeah, on the third
And
day.
he grew bunny ears.
No. On the third day, he rose from the
And
dead,
whiskers.
and he went and he visited his disciples, and they looked at him, and some of them wanted to say, they said, wait, I don't know, is it you? And they looked at his hands,
What did you do that for?
and they could see
The
that he
scars.
had scars in his hands from the nails, and they went, oh, it is you.
What about
It's really you.
there?
Yeah, they could look right here and say, it is you. You really are my Lord. And they all believed. Isn't that amazing? And that's the story of Easter. So, were there any eggs in the Easter story?
No.
No,
No.
but there is eggs from the Easter bunny,
Yeah.
and I believe that he's going to hide Easter eggs for us to find
He
tomorrow.
might. Is there any bunnies in the Easter story?
No, but
No.
but God made bunnies.
He did make bunnies. You're right. You know what? There's no Easter eggs or Easter bunnies in the true biblical story of Easter.
chick.
So you can read in your Bible in Matthew and in John about the true story of Easter. And you can read it yourself today on Easter Sunday. Have a great day, guys. Go
And subscribe
and celebrate Easter with your families.
and find Easter eggs.
And follow us at justnowbelieve.com. Leave a like.
Bye.